I want to talk a little bit about this book, Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda. It's a famous book. And I am currently, I'm right here about halfway through. But this is my second or third time that I've read it. So I already knew that I really like this book. But I forgot about why I liked it because I probably haven't read it in 15 years or so. To tell you the truth, philosophically, it's not the best philosophy book that I've read. And I had thought about making a little video about every chapter and stuff, but I found the individual chapters, I didn't have a whole lot really to say about it. It's more like the whole feel of the book is what moves me more than the individual ideas or individual stories. What I find is the main thing that my main impression from it is really, it's the best word is Paramahansa's faith in God, faith in the divine, faith in the larger spiritual reality, and his complete commitment to living a religious and spiritual life, even starting from when he was very little. And for him, it's like really, it's a lot more visceral, a lot more real for him than for most people, even very committed spiritual people, where often it's becomes locked into kind of, this is your spirituality is like part of your life, and you don't on a day-to-day basis don't necessarily really believe the things that you say that you believe, even if maybe you're even in clergy, but you still aren't like living this way, assuming that everything you see around you is Maya, and that there is always a deeper truth, and that deep truth is God. That's how Paramahansa lives, and that is the message that he projects in the book. And I find it very moving and inspiring. I've always, ever since I was an early teenager, considered myself a spiritual person. And I guess compared to a monk like Paramahansa, I'm comparatively an amateur, but actually it's a really big part of my life. And at least at times it's the central thing. And I guess the message for me personally is, don't forget, no matter what the distractions are in your life, don't forget that spirituality isn't just a career. If you're a career spiritualist, which I kind of am, at least sometimes, and it's not just a hobby, something that you do on Sundays or sometimes. Actually, spirituality that's the foundation of your life. And there will be times, and actually it's every day, when you have to choose, am I going to be more materialist and prioritize the obvious material situations? I have, like right now I'm doing some home improvement stuff. But I woke up late, so did I have time to meditate? Well, those are the kinds of faith situations that we face every day. And everything around you, getting up late, having to get ready to go on a trip, having to fix up your house, having to deal with your job, all of those little things are like potential distractions. They are sort of trying to seduce you into living a more like Maya-oriented life. And I feel like for me, the one lesson that Paramahansa had, because it's not metaphysics. There's other writers about metaphysics that I really prefer. So it's not the intellectual stuff. It's his lifestyle of always choosing spirit. Don't take the things around you seriously. Even if things are falling apart, don't allow them to seduce you into getting down on the situation or getting worried about the situation or prioritizing fixing those little material problems rather than rooting yourself in who you are and how you understand the universe. Always root yourself in your beliefs, whatever they are. And of course, develop your beliefs too through inner work, through study. Don't take your own beliefs too seriously, but also at the same time, root yourself in what you do believe is the truth. And it's when life gets hard, that's when rooting yourself in your spirituality is most important. Don't put it on the side. Don't treat spirituality as a hobby. Don't treat it as something that you may or may not do. It's the first thing that you do. Everything else emerges from your spirituality. You don't place your spirituality into a wider context. Spirituality is the wider context. And to me, that's really the beauty of what Paramahansa is giving us in this book. We'll see later on. I do have some ideas about the miracles and stuff in his book, and I might shoot another video, but this video is really what I think is the heart and soul of this book. And I honestly don't know of another book like that tells that story so deeply. I mean, I hate to say this, but maybe the Gospels, that's really is a big part of what Jesus talks about in the Gospels. Don't fear, have faith in God. Like literally right now, have faith in God. Not just theoretically, right? That's what Jesus talks about in the Gospels a lot. It's one of the main things that he talks about. And obviously it's a big part of what Paramahansa talks about too. And it's something that I'm trying to integrate in my life. And even as I have developed philosophically in theory, sometimes I let this slip, and I don't want to let it slip anymore.